Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV, the place to be for tips, tools, strategies, and everything that you need to take the hassle out of your hustle and to have a profitable business that's fun to run. Today is Friday. That means it is Tech Life with the Tech Divas. The Tech Divas will be in here shortly. Terry is on assignment, and I'm filling in. And so we're going to start off with this week in tech history. And got a couple of tech stories for you. And then we'll be joined by TJ all the way from New York City, Dr. Tachi from the Florida area. And we got some great things to talk about. So sit back, relax, put your chair in its upright position, and let's get ready to learn. If you got questions on tech, we want to hear about it. We want to hear about what you've been using for tech. We might even ask you to take a seat. So get camera ready and let's get started. So welcome all live and replay viewers from wherever you're watching. We appreciate you. Look forward to having some fun this Friday morning. I am going to take a moment here and share this out, make sure that it gets out to everywhere it's supposed to go. So thank you for your patience. I just want to make sure that I'm going to take a moment here and share. And I just want to make sure that we have. Hi, Laura. We're going to get started here. This week in tech history. Let's see. My little share button is missing, so I guess I'm not going to share that the way I want it. Okay. So, anyway, welcome. Share this with somebody. We want to hear your comments. Let's get the party started. So, I want to talk about the first story I'm going to talk about today is Apple introduces the Newton. And that was August 3rd, 1993. Apple introduces the Newton Message Pad, one of the world's first personal digital assistants, also known as a PDA. The term PDA was first used by Apple CEO John Sculley in 1992. While a commercial failure, the Newton platform set the bar for future PDA designs. But perhaps the most important advancement the Newton offered to the technology industry was the development of the ARM processor architecture. Apple invested heavily in the fledgling architecture to power the Newton devices. The ARM architecture has been the foundation of most of the world's mobile devices since that time, including all versions of the Apple iPhone and iPad. Incidentally, in 1998, Apple sold their ownership interest in ARM, generating $800 million. This gave Apple some much needed cash to carry them through their darkest days. So that is Apple introduces the Newton, and it looks like it kind of resembles an iPad, a little more clunky. But that was the Newton. Next story, NASA launches Phoenix. August 4th, 2007, NASA launches the Mars Phoenix lander. Phoenix would become the first spacecraft to land on the Martian Arctic surface. Its mission was to dig for ice and assess if the Martian Arctic ever had conditions that could have supported life. Really? They was trying to go to Mars back in 07. Okay. I don't think so. Hey, TJ.
Good morning.
Yeah. Hey, Karen. Yeah.
Good morning, Karen.
We're not doing Mars.
Again, Mars.
Yeah, they launched the Phoenix, sent the thing up there, Why?
Why?
Because our physical makeup is not meant for Mars. You know how many things you have to convert for us to get to okay, let's just take us going underwater, right? You have to have the whole helmet, the whole oxygen thing, all of that to do diving underwater, and y'all want to go to Mars.
Ay.
See, that's man doing stuff, trying to retrofit and fix stuff and make it do stuff it ain't supposed to do. And then when it don't work, whoops. Okay. Okay, I'm done. Off that soapbox. Okay. August 5th, 1858. Yes, I said 1858. After 4 failed attempts, American merchant Cyrus West Field succeeds in completing the first successful transatlantic telegraph cable. Completed approximately 2 months after construction began. The cable is only operational for just over a month. However, this cable provided the feasibility of transatlantic communications, and Cyrus West Field raised new funds to complete the first permanent telegraph line in 1866. They probably thought he was crazy. The first successful transatlantic telegraph cable. And he did it 2 months after two months. Okay. Some stuff we get nowadays taking like a lot longer than 2 months.
Yeah.
But he did it. Okay, so the next story, Apple and Microsoft call a truce. You all remember the commercials? I'm a PC. I'm a Mac.
Yes, I remember.
Those were fun times. At the Macworld.
Innocent back then.
Huh?
So innocent back then compared to where we are now.
Right. August 6, 1997, at the Macworld Expo in Boston, Steve Jobs announces that Apple and Microsoft have signed a 5-year alliance. Bill Gates famously makes his seemingly ominous Big Brother appearance on the large screen presentation during the announcement. See, even back then, Apple they did their announcements and stuff large screen. As a part of the deal, Microsoft committed to continuing development of Microsoft Office for Mac over the next 5 years. Apple would make Internet Explorer the default web browser on the Mac. Apple and Microsoft would collaborate on Java compatibility, and Microsoft invested $150 million in Apple stock. However, the most important part of the arrangement is that both companies would cross-license all existing patents along with any new patents over the next 5 years. Apple would drop their long-running series of patent infringement lawsuits against Microsoft, and Microsoft paid an undisclosed amount of money to Apple. The common assumption in tech community is that Microsoft's $150 million investment in Apple saved the company. However, the reality is that Apple holding $1.2 billion in cash at the time, $150 million was relatively a small sum of money. Some now believe the undisclosed amount of money that Microsoft paid Apple was in fact a secret settlement to the patent infringement claims. Estimated at anywhere between $500 million to $2 billion, this was the real meat of the cross-licensing arrangement. It was likely this much larger undisclosed amount, along with the show of confidence that Apple would be around at least another 5 years, that gave Apple and Steve Jobs the breathing room needed to reinvent Apple into the most valuable company in the world. And your thoughts?
Oh, listening to all this throwback news makes me nostalgic. Like we had it good back then.
We really did.
Yeah, I know. And when you brought up the story about the Mac versus the Windows, and I remember it was the two guys. One went in a drab suit, looking nerdy, and the other guy was cool. I'm a Mac. I was like, that was. Can we go back to those days?
Yes, it would
With
be
all the
nice.
craziness that's going on with social media now.
Right. Which you're going to tell us all about here in a minute or two.
Oh yeah, in a minute. Yeah, we get ready.
Eh, and yeah, that's just way weird. So,
Yeah.
in my final story, August 7th, 1944, IBM presents Harvard University their automatic sequence controlled calculator, ASCC, an electromechanical computer devised by Howard H. Aiken and built by IBM. Howard renamed the ASCC the Harvard Mark I. The Mark I was not significant for technological advances as a fully electronic ENIAC was being constructed when the Mark I was being put into service. However, the Mark I was the first large scale digital calculator ever built and served to spark the desire for more and better computing machines. This thing was huge.
Hmm.
It was very big. Let me see if I can show you. I was like, really? Looks like a shopping.
Oh yeah, that's what the computers used to look like. They were big buildings, and then they were rooms, and then they turned into little now they're little servers. Now they're going to be even smaller. So we're in a world where technology is growing by leaps and bounds. It's not done. And there'll be a day we'll look at this day like I did about, okay, wow, the Apple and Mac thing, and you'll be nostalgic about the computer that sat on your desk, and it'll be small. In the future, it'll be smaller than the width of a hair. A server, a computer, a laptop, whatever that runs the future, it'll be smaller and thinner than one of a human hair.
And that's what we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have a computer right here.
Yeah, it's a computer. People don't think of it as your phone is a computer. The computer, a studio, a media studio, a broadcast studio, a newspaper, because you can do all of those things on it now. So,
and I'm sure you're going to get into some of this. I think they've changed some stuff. I no longer have the ability to share this to a page. My little share button does not show up.
You mean from the BitChicks page?
Yeah, like I'm on the page right here, and I'm looking for that little share button down there.
Yeah, it's a source of frustration on mobile. It is.
I was like, "Where's my share button?"
Facebook has changed. Like the tools you used to manage your business page, they moved it to the Creator Studio. So when you try to do something that you used to do through regular Facebook.com, you can't, because you got to go where they want you to go. And now on mobile, the little share button is so hard to use and find, and it doesn't go where you want it to go. So
yeah, because it's not here. I was like,
you have to copy. You have to copy the link and then go to your page and then pay. It's really Facebook. Get it together, everybody.
Yeah, because last week I was able to share. This week I can't. I'm like, where? Okay.
Well, I know Facebook has switched the format, the layout on the desktop back and forth with a new one versus the classic. I've seen people complaining about that on Facebook, and I'm like, I still got the classic. I don't want to hold on to it as long as possible because they're making it crazy, but you can't do the thing
right. And okay. I was just like, okay.
It's not, and I say that to say it's not just you, everybody out there. We all sharing the same frustration with Facebook. Why can't they just leave simple alone? Why does it have to change? Because they're trying to keep up with who, the other apps, Facebook.
But there's too many others that you're trying to keep up with. So why don't you just beat?
Well, yourself? There's one they want to beat. The big one.
What is that one?
The TikTok.
Oh, they're trying to. Okay, well, they're not helping it by moving the buttons on this.
Yeah.
That is not helping your cause right now, because I'm trying to share this out to our group page, And
Yeah, you gotta copy the link and go to the page and make a post. And
I was like, okay, because I just found it. And anyway, so say something about this link. Join us.
see, you have to, right. They want,
What
it's not just a share. You have to say something.
Okay.
Facebook. Put it together, Facebook.
And
Make
then I
it
got to
easy.
find the post button after you find it. Before I could have gone in and just they gave you where do you want to send it to a group, and then you can click on the group that you wanted to send it to and click that and it's sent, and click that and it's sent, and we're done. But now I'm like, where's the other? They just doing much right now. So, and this is just, I'm learning because now see more people are coming in because they got
the share, yeah,
on the page.
When you share stuff out, that's Facebook. It signals the algorithm to, hey, come on over. So we asked you to share on your end too.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat. Good morning.
See, Pat wouldn't have known we were on had I not shared it to the group. Okay. Well, Pat sometimes just shows up anyway, too, because we love Pat. It's just really weird.
We're happy you're here, Pat.
Yes, we are. Terry Austin is out on handling some
business.
And so we are here talking about all things tech and social media and media.
Mm-hmm. And it's been a crazy week.
All right. So do you want to get after it?
We might as well. Yeah. Unless there's another story. Oh, Donna's here. Donna says, how about me? Donna, we can't forget about you.
Hey, Donna.
Hey. Well, I'm glad you're here. Donna had a birthday this week.
Yes. And so did Coach Karen.
Oh, that's right.
Both of them had a birthday this week.
Birthday girls in the house.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to send you all something.
Yeah. So unless there's like a general topic,
no,
like because Terramina usually brings up some tech thing.
She'll come and bring in some
stuff. Okay, so she's coming in later.
No. So we will not be taking rabbit trails today.
Okay, good. So we'll start with social media. It's been a crazy week. I said last Friday to watch this space for TikTok, and I was right. Every day I wake up and peruse my feeds and my sites. There's been a change. Microsoft is now in talks to buy the American arm of TikTok. They have until September 15th to flesh out the deal. The administration says they want a piece of the pie because they facilitated this talk. So they want actual money, not taxes. And because we talked a little bit about this on Tuesday, and I think Brenna was saying that, because they have to pay the government taxes when there's a merger or a buyout, whatever. Now, I'm not talking about that. He wants an actual payout of pay me because I facilitated this deal. But we're not going to talk about that.
Who said this?
45. So he actually.
Okay. I'm just going to shut up and go back.
So listen. So that came out Tuesday because we talked about it on Tuesday, and people were saying, Microsoft has to pay tax. Yes, they have to pay taxes when there's a merger or a buyout, acquisition, whatever. Not taxes. He wants the money to go to the government because he facilitated this deal or thought of it or he's instigated a ban. Whatever he did, he's saying now that as a result, if Microsoft buys TikTok, Microsoft should give us some money, more money. So we're going to put that to the side. That was Tuesday. Okay. So now there's talk of Microsoft buying the whole TikTok, even the Chinese part of it. That's been on the table. So last night, 45 issues an executive order saying that TikTok will be banned in 45 days, period. He's saying that they have to get the deal done in 45 days or it's banned. Like, boom, you can't use it in America. He signed the executive order last night.
Okay, let me ask this question.
Okay.
Doesn't it take an act of Congress to do stuff like they got to vote for?
No, see, this is the deal. There are some things that the president cannot do. There are some things the president can do without the other two branches of government. They're called executive orders. It's a limited power, but it is a power nonetheless. So yes, he can, and he has done other executive orders. This means that it doesn't need congressional approval or it doesn't need approval from the Supreme Court. But it's a limited amount of things he can do with this executive order, and this falls into one of them. The lawyers figured out some way about the Commerce Department and something. So they're saying that this is a threat to national security, this app, because like we were saying, owned by China. The servers are in Singapore and US. They have the data collection. The data servers aren't in China, but it's a Chinese-owned company. So we can assume, and they've done this before, that China will ask for information. Now, TikTok says, well, we have a president, the CEO is American. You know, the American part of TikTok is in America. So we're not giving anything to China, but it's under the umbrella of being a Chinese-owned company. So in theory, China can ask for information. But on the other side of this, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, all of those guys take your data. So other people are saying, well, you know, what about Facebook? Facebook does the same thing, but they're American owned. That's the deal. So he's using the fact that, and he's got this vendetta against China. I don't know why everything he's, you know, taking the hammer and knocking the wall. So this is a part of it. Also, remember that, you know, the kids on TikTok last month derailed his big, what was his thing? The thing that he had that he was going to speak. And right. They had millions of people.
Campaign
some campaign rally or something. And they bragged like a week before that they had 1 million people sign up. But those were the TikTok kids and the BTS Twitter, and those were Gen Z signed up falsely for the tickets. So you had to sign up for tickets. So they were going around and bragging, oh, we got 1 million people. I think 6,000 people showed up or something like that. So again, this is a person that's running a country that is concerned about the way he looks to the world. So TikTok got on his list of, we gonna mess with you. All right, so it's a mess. We got 45 days. It's going to be more stuff. Microsoft might not buy TikTok. Now, add to this, Facebook has introduced their own copy of TikTok into Instagram called Reels. It went live on Wednesday. So see, these things are all tied up together now. I'm going to talk about Reels in a minute, but Facebook is trying to, you know, siphon off. They've offered money to TikTok creators to come on over to Instagram Reels and make your stuff influencer, make your dancing videos, and get your people to come over to Instagram and use the Reels. So let me stop here because I see a bunch of comments.
Yes.
So let's see, where did we stop?
Donna had a question about Zoom, which I think we took her off point for that, but
okay.
We can answer that Zoom question. She was asking anybody who in the chat or whatever, Donna is looking for someone who knows about Zoom webinars, but how to work with them.
Okay.
So we might be able to answer that question.
Yeah. It depends. We've used Zoom before. I didn't use the webinar option, but the Zoom webinar is a closed private chat where you get to talk to people. I personally would, this is just me because I'm not a fan. Everybody's trying to fit Zoom to fit everything. Zoom is not the tool that fits everything. That's just my personal opinion. But if you want to do something that's webinar-like that costs you nothing, Facebook group, because they've added all these tools. There's messenger rooms, and it's private. And you get to go live in the group and everybody chats in the group, and you get to control who's in it. Now, Zoom has a problem with the Zoom bombing where, people were jumping in and showing unsavory things instead of what you're talking about. So Zoom says they fixed their privacy issue. I don't believe it. So that's just me personally. Yeah. So Karen Karen is saying some things about
yeah. So she's saying that Karen is saying that they're expensive. Talking about the
Zoom, and then
and you can use it as is. I believe
Mm-hmm.
you can just go into and have a Zoom and then use your PowerPoint and share your screen and stuff. You don't technically need to have the webinar set up because that's an extra charge.
Yeah. She says with PowerPoint, and then Donna says can't do. Okay, so everybody's not on Facebook. Okay, so here's an alternative: Google Meet.
Google Meet, and then free conference call. They just up their stuff.
Yeah, so she's saying that they need 100 people.
Right. So you might want to do freeconferencecall.com. They have video. Go check it out. They have video, and everybody would get a link, and they don't have to download an app.
Good. See, because the thing is, I don't know about you guys, but I would like to save my money and not pay for, and I'm just, to me, everybody, and I'm getting requests on my end, like, oh, I want to do XYZ, and I'm like, Zoom is not the shoehorn for everything. So there are lots of alternatives that are free. So like Fran said, freeconferencecall.com, or you want to look at Google Meet. They may, she's saying somebody purchased, who purchased Zoom? Oh, they bought the Zoom, who were ever doing it. Okay, well,
but they bought it. They bought the Zoom subscription apparently because I think you
to do the webinar.
I don't think you can just.
Well, I would say if you're paying for, if this person is paying for Zoom, then Zoom should be providing some customer support.
Oh, see, because here's the thing, Zoom, as you creep up in numbers, you got to buy a larger package.
Right.
You can't just. You can't have 100 people on at one time. You have to, well, you can, but then I don't know. I think the first time you get 50 or whatever, and then you get more.
Right.
And more.
Like a layer, like levels. I'm just saying, also, everybody just Zoom. I need Zoom to do this, that, and the other. And there's lots of other tools, but they've already bought Zoom. So.
Okay, Dr. Tachi.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, I was going to say that you can also you can add more people as add-ons once you decide you want to do it. And if you need more people, even if you have a basic plan, you can pay to add more.
Yep. Okay. So Donna, it looks like you guys are using Zoom because they purchased it.
Yeah, so that's
they need help on how to do. See, that's the other thing.
$500
for up to 500 people. Seriously? Free conference.
Oh, they're serious.
They're serious. I'm not. Free conference call. You can get over 1,000 people on there for free. Okay, I'm shut up.
Me too. It's a done deal. If they purchase Zoom, so Zoom is getting the money, so Zoom should solve the problem.
Right, and you should be able to talk to somebody at Zoom to help you walk through that.
Yeah.
I think that Zoom did not anticipate the explosive growth that they were going to have due to the pandemic. And so they really didn't have anybody in place to deal with all these things. The same reason they didn't have the end-to-end encryption, because they were like, well, we have 10 million people that are using it. Okay. So nobody thought it would be this type of explosive growth. That's not an excuse at all, but it's just a lesson to businesses to stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
What is that? Yeah. Be prepared. The Boy Scout, Girl Scout thing. Be prepared.
There you go.
Because that need now. See, somebody. This is a thing. Whoever have Zoom skills. Donna needs help the day of. That means she needs like a producer type person to control buttons and do all of that. So somebody who is Zoom savvy can.
Donna, are you in the StreamYard community group? Are you a part of that? If so, go in there because there was some talk of producing and pricing. So and those people in that group, it might not be just StreamYard, it may be Zoom that they can handle. I've seen some talk about Zoom in there. So if you're in the group,
Yeah, so you can find a producer, somebody to push
yeah,
the
they've
button
been
for you.
they've been talking about it. I saw some people were like, "Oh, what are we? Oh, you're not in the group. Okay."
Well, you might want to go over there.
I think you can join. I think it's open. It's
Right.
StreamYard community, not StreamYard. StreamYard. Go to groups and type in StreamYard community. I was in there and there was a bunch of talk about people, needing help like you need, but it was for StreamYard. But I'm pretty sure that some people in there know the Zoom part of it also. So,
Right.
So try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like there should be an account rep for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Zoom. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get back
back at the ranch.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back with the TikTok morass of what's going on.
Oh, Karen says she believes that Liz does this.
Oh, Liz
Green.
Okay.
Yes. Donna, reach out to Liz Green. She's one of the Biz Chick community.
Oh, Liz. Yeah.
Yep. Talk to Liz Green.
See?
And Coach Karen can help you connect with Liz. Anyway, look for Liz Green. She can help you with that. Okay.
So back to the clown show called TikTok.
Hey,
and the president. And,
which one is the clown? Anyway, go ahead.
I say 45 of this administration. So we were saying that he was actually saying he wanted an actual piece of compensation for facilitating this wonderful talk of buying the U.S. TikTok arm. But then I read another story. Microsoft wants to buy the whole thing. On the other side of that, TikTok has now responded and saying that they're going to seek legal action because the 45 guy can't do this, but he already did it. He already signed the executive order. So I don't know. Like I said Friday, watch this space. Every day I'm waking up, it's going to be a different story with TikTok. So right now, TikTok is operational, people. Again, we've been saying before, the influencers are jumping to Triller. The jumping to Dub Smash, Byte. There was a couple other apps, and now going to Facebook to do videos on.
I just went in there, and on my Instagram there was a story, and the reels. Telling
you about the reels
there. I was like, oh.
Yeah, so Wednesday it was made available to everybody in the United States and other countries. People went crazy. Oh, I went in and I saw reels and I said, "This is not TikTok."
It is not. I was like, this doesn't even have the function they're trying. They're a TikTok wannabe. That's the basic
watery. It's a watered down drink.
Well, you know why? Because that's Facebook's MO. If Facebook was a bar, they'd be the ones you'd accuse of using water instead of vodka, because they take everything they do and just water it down. What is their name? Master of none.
So you ask for top shelf, and you drink it.
And they give you muscatel.
So I was excited. I said, "Oh, real? Let me go." So people all day Wednesday was like, "Do you have it? Do you have it? Do you have it?" I was like, "Okay, let me go see." I went into it and I was like, "Well, first of all, I'm going to say, if you haven't used TikTok, you're going to be a little confused about what to do because it's not as intuitive. TikTok is easy, just like Snapchat was easy. Snapchat is easy. You go swipe, 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 swipe. TikTok, you go swipe, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here's the condensed of everything. TikTok is more than just videos of people dancing. They have so many. There's all these editing features and tools inside of TikTok that are not in Reels. Reels lets you, yes, you can do little quick jump cuts, and there's some filters. I don't have the music option because I've never had the music option in Instagram, but I have some other accounts. Yeah, I've never had it. I never
Are
had.
you a business account?
Yes, that's why I was getting
That's
ready
why.
to say.
Okay.
If you have a business account, Instagram that's tied to your Facebook business page as a business account, you will not have music. I don't know why.
Unless like mine was a personal account, but
Mhm.
I just turned it into a creator account, which is a
So now
type
you
of
have
business.
the music.
Well, I've always had music,
Okay.
but
I've
as a
never had
creator, I still have it. But if I turned it into a straight business account, I would not have
You
music.
don't have it. You don't have
Right.
it. So if you have a business TikTok, a business Instagram, you may or may not. I've never had music. Now I have other accounts that are not business accounts, and I've gone into there and there was the music.
Mhm.
So I saw that, but still the feel of it is not TikTok. It is not a TikTok clone. Facebook, you guys, you were successful with the copycat from Snapchat, but this is falling way short.
But and Facebook didn't even develop that; they bought it.
Right, they bought it. So this Reels is something they developed, and you can see like that, they're the master of none. So what's the end result of this Reels? It's going to the people that are on Instagram that you got a little bit more stuff to work with. You should be happy. The people that they're trying to get from TikTok who they didn't pay, you're not going to be happy because you're used to TikTok, which is a far superior app as far as creating videos, the editing tools, the music, the algorithm is different. Instagram saying, oh, well, we're going to put, if you do whatever, we're going to put you on the explore page. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. So you guys try Reels out, see what you think. I was not impressed. I was watching Cheddar this morning. One of the journalists, she was like, "Oh, she's excited about TikTok. She's a TikTok creator, and she's excited about TikTok." She said, "Oh, I was so excited to try the Reels and Instagram," and she said, "It falls short of the mark."
Okay, so now I'm going to hit these couple of quick comments.
Yeah, I saw them.
Alfredo said TikTok banned, but they are seeking legal action. Interesting. Reels is a TikTok wannabe.
Yes.
And he said if Facebook were a bar, we get tap water.
Exactly.
And Karen said, how many cubes of ice are in there?
They'd give you half a cube. My thing is to do what you do well rather than to add a whole bunch of things into the mix that you do mediocrely or sub-mediocrely. Is that a word? Nope, but I made it one. So I don't understand. I do understand. They think they can, it's all profit driven. They think they can make more money and draw creators over there. We already talked about that, right? How they're trying to lure creators.
I just thought of something. This is like, okay, if we used to go to Chinatown here in New York City, and you can go and you can get any knockoff bag that you want.
Yes.
But it falls apart after a week.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like if you go to Canal Street expecting to get the latest
bag,
Louis Vuitton, Hermes bag, right? And then you notice, oh well, the writing is kind of scratched off, but it will last. And then 1 week later, it's all scratched through. The stitching is coming undone.
Right, yeah, and it looks like the bag, and you're wet. Oh yeah, for a week you're Chanel or you're the Birkin bag or whatever, and after a week the glue starts to. So that's what Reels is compared to TikTok, which is the original.
Reels is the bootleg Louis Vuitton that you buy on Canal Street.
It's a knockoff.
It's not even a good knockoff. It's a bootleg. Like you said, it's a bootleg. It's not. It's a watered down drink. It won't leave you satisfied if you're a TikTok person.
Listen, I think the idea, the solution may be going back to the one who started it all.
Who would that be?
Who?
Vine.
Oh,
Vine started everything. Now they came back with Byte.
Yeah, they're reimagined as Byte now, and Byte has a little thing going.
I'm in here on Byte. Don't ask me what to do. I can at least get around in TikTok. I'm like, I think I gotta learn to know who.
So the Reels is fun if you are an Instagram creator and you don't do anything on TikTok, it's fun. I saw some great filters. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is nice. And I was done after 10 minutes. But when you go to TikTok, it's a whole nother world. It's like brightly colored, this top shelf drinks. It's the original Chanel Birkin Gucci bag. It's the original bag. and
Yes. Yes. It's with the chains that don't turn color, that don't, fade. The gold doesn't become chrome a week later. I think too that with TikTok, obviously I think we're all on there, and I create when I have time. I'm not going to kill myself doing it. I create when I have time for TikTok. But the thing is, there are a lot of people doing different things on TikTok, but the large majority of people are doing the creative things on TikTok.
Yes.
So the attraction for me to do something was like, I'm one of the few people that's doing like MediaTek and pop culture news updates. You know what I'm saying? Just straight stuff. So it stands out on everything else. What I do is probably not going to stand out that much on Reels because there's not that much there.
It's like they looked at the essence of TikTok and didn't really see it and said, okay, we could, when you see the design, the Oscars, when the Oscars and all the celebrities wear the gown, and then the next day they have the guy doing the knockoff.
Yes.
And then it's just not the same. It's just not the same.
Okay, so anybody who has bought quality clothing, that the knockoff does not fit. It does not.
Yeah, there's a reason why you. There's a reason you go to Dolce & Gabbana or whoever, and they, serve you champagne when you go into the showroom, and the shirt is $900. There's a reason. It
don't itch when you leave.
It doesn't fall apart. It fits perfectly.
You can look at the fabric. You guys know I'm very into fashion. You can look at the fabric and look at one of the telltale signs, especially, for example, with African print fabrics. You can tell a good wax print or African print fabric if you look at the other side of the fabric or the B side, and you can't tell which side is which.
Right.
When you have it printed on one side and then it's all cheap white on the other side.
Yeah, it's white on the other side.
That's how you know this is not the best quality. When the stitching looks like, you could drive your car through it instead of being nice and tight, that's an indication that this is not something of quality. So Reels is like that loose stitching and the cheap African fabric that is not printed well on both sides.
Exactly.
And, Pat says it's like the Wives Saint.
Wives Saint. Instead of Eves,
it's supposed to be Yves Saint Laurent, but it's Eve, Wives, Weaves Saint. Okay.
So I looked at Reels and I tried it out, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then I was like, well, it's like the kid that opens the Christmas present in his socks, and they're like, well, where's the pipe? Where's the...
At least there's some shoes here.
Yeah,
I know it's not just these rusty socks.
Yeah, you taking out where's the thing I asked for, but you got some socks. So
has anybody else tried Reels? Or how about even TikTok? Let's ask that question. I have a TikTok account, and I follow Dr. Tachi. She puts really good information out there on TikTok, how to do lighting and working on audio and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is, okay, so TikTok is, I'm going to go here, the Quibi of like you can use it. It's a shortened version of whatever it is that you want to talk about.
And the Reels, I'm sitting there trying to figure out, you got to do all the stuff on the left first before you hit the record button, and then there's I was like, no,
okay, I'm not doing all that. TikTok, I go in and just create.
Yeah, right. Right. It's not Reels. Is not that Reels is not ready for prime time. So, but the people that are on Instagram who do not do TikToky things, or you don't use TikTok, you're gonna be happy because there's some things in there that but it's not. You have to use it.
So why couldn't they just use Boomerang? Because they have that.
It's a little half step up from Boomerang. It's a little half step. Brenda has a big comment. Let's see what.
Okay, I'm sorry. I bought a Michael Kors wallet at Nordstrom. the one time I went in for my phone thinking they were quality. Only time I bought designer, it was broken 5 days later. Brands don't mean anything, but a status I'm not concerned with.
Okay, Brenda, I'm going to explain to you what that Michael Kors thing was in Nordstrom, because these designers, they have a high end boutique. You go into the Michael Kors store, and then they have a lesser quality brand that they sell in Target, Nordstrom, and there's two levels to each luxury brand, and you have to go into the actual store to get the actual quality stuff. If you get, and I'm not putting Nordstrom down or shopping at Nordstrom, they're great, but the designer makes a lower quality product for that level of retail.
Even though it doesn't seem you're paying lower level price.
Right? It's the same. And Michael Kors gets the money, but he knows that he made something less quality than the clientele that comes into the boutique in, Rue de la whatever, in France or wherever they are, wherever the luxury brand is, they have boutique stores. That's where you get the high quality stuff. It costs more, but then they're realizing that they're branding their name, and they put it in a lower level retail situation. Exactly. So that's what happened there.
And keep in mind that, and I'm sure we all know this, designer is different from luxury.
Yes.
So there's a different category. It's a whole different category. And sometimes we think, especially with the Marc Jacobs, the Michael Kors, etc., those are, high-end designers. But like Terry said, they've got the lower quality, mass-produced that will go to the retail stores, the things you'll find in TJ Maxx and Marshalls and things like that. Then they've got the higher quality produced. But then you've got luxury, which is like, Fendi, Gucci.
Right. So if you're not going into the actual store with the name on top, it's not going to be the same quality. And they know what they're doing, because they're, that's a branding of the name issue, and they're trying to hit all of the retail level markets.
Because people want them. They want to feel like they can afford something that is either designer or luxury. That's why, the designer and luxury market is huge.
Yes, it is. And there's a difference, like you said, designer and luxury, like Tiffany's. There's a Tiffany store. You can only buy Tiffany's in the store.
Yeah, you can't buy Tiffany's at Walmart or or whatever.
Right. So that's the difference. Just because the name is on it, and it's like it depends on the location that you bought it from. So if you buy it from, there's a name for it that is Nordstrom and those stores, Bloomingdale's and stuff, and then there's the actual. That's why they have the store. When you go on Fifth, like here on Fifth Avenue, if I go to the Chanel store, I'm buying Chanel straight from Paris. If they have it in another location, I'm getting a lesser quality product, but it still has the name on it. So different ones do different things.
Correct. It doesn't mean it's less pretty. It doesn't mean that, you can't like it just as much as if you know, just realize that these are the things that you're doing. Also with really quickly, I know this is a whole tangent, but it's interesting it's interesting that you brought up Tiffany's, because, there are levels within these stores as well. So when you go to Tiffany, this was the popular thing, like in the early 2000s and such. A whole, young women would go and buy. So to say that they had something at Tiffany, they would go. And it's for the experience, because when you make an appointment and all that, you don't just walk in, you make an appointment. But they would buy the silver jewelry. So they had really nice silver jewelry. But why the hell would I pay Tiffany prices for $9.25 sterling silver? It's not anything different than sterling silver to me that I could get someplace.
Exactly.
The styles, perhaps.
Yes, and I brought up Tiffany's because I have some things from Tiffany's when I used to work in advertising. They would give us gifts like every year. It was like, we did a Tiffany, this, that, keychain, whatever. So like Tachi said, they have different levels. They wasn't going to give us Tiffany diamonds. We got like a little necklace or a little keychain or some Tiffany stationery. I still have it, but it was like, okay, there's different ways of getting the Tiffany inside of there. They've got we're not getting the jewelry. We're getting the little lesser line, so you can feel like you have something from Tiffany, and it's just a blue box.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Reels. Reels is just a blue box.
Tiffany, I mean, oh wow, yeah, it's just a blue box. There's nothing inside. We brought up a lot of analogies. Like,
we did. How terrible is it that you're such a lackluster app that we have all these analogies for you?
Watered down drinks. The lower, the knockoff bag with the glue on it from Canals. Use it and see if we're right. I mean,
check it out. Check out Byte.
And Karen,
I've seen Brenna over on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to use. See, because Brenna, you got to have something easy to use. You don't have all day to try and figure out, wait, I need to push this button first, and then I need to do this.
And Reels, I was trying to figure out, well, where's the effects? Because it's just a button and you push record. You're looking at I was like, well, where are the things where the bells and whistles? Oh, you got to select it before you hit the record button. And then it's like little snippets, but they don't tell you. And there's an arrow and you got to hit it back and you go, oh, that's the little snippet. But what do I do with it? There's no little editing tools to make them all connect and do all kind of things that TikTok does. So
I don't have time to be thinking about all of that when I got work to do. You know what I mean? You want something easy to do quickly to get it out there, not keep.
See, this is the thing with TikTok. There's the algorithm. It's fun to use. There's the community there, and Gen Z loves it. Those are all of those things that Instagram couldn't duplicate. You can't duplicate that. They should have just bought TikTok, but TikTok was like, we're not for sale. But now they are.
Now they are.
Right. But Facebook made their little cheap knockoff. And once you put the cheap knockoff, where do you go?
I know Zuckerberg is mad as hot grease.
It's not. I'm like, they tested the thing in Brazil and all these other countries. Master of none. I'm speechless. Master of none. So
yeah, get good at something. Because they just changed it because I'm already fussing because I tried to send out our announcement to the pages and stuff. I had to go to my iPad. I couldn't do it off the phone. I was like,
with business, Facebook wants us to use the Creator Studio because they have the app and they have on the desktop. So that's why the business part of it, Facebook is pushing us to this Creator app. I have the Creator Studio app, but I don't like it.
I don't like Creator Studio at all.
It's not, but that's what they're pushing us to because you try to find the things on your business page, they're not there. Like an edit, but I'm like, where's it? I got to go to the studio, the Creator Studio, and do this.
The thing is, though, the harder you make it for especially businesses to use something, the less likely they are to continue to use you unless they're getting a significant return on investment from you. You can't make things so cumbersome for people. The average person is not a techie. And I think apps and platforms need to remember this, that you only exist because we use you. Granted, it's a mutually beneficial relationship, some heavier on the one side than the others, but you exist because of us. As such, make it easy, and then you're collecting money from a lot of these businesses.
But see, that's why Snapchat it still has a core group of users that are happy with it. It's not billions of users, but they made it simple, that app. Same thing with TikTok. They made it simple to use. That's why people love it amongst all the other things. And it's like, okay, here come 45 messing up the pot. And believe me, he's going to go after another app after this. It's like a shark that tastes blood and goes, oh, there's more stuff here to eat. So legally,
MO, Facebook was built on that MO.
Yeah.
Ask the Winklevoss twins.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just want to say really one thing quickly. Now, you probably already covered this, but I despite whatever issues there are with TikTok and security, I do understand in terms of national security thing. I don't like this fact that it happened and that there was a bullying into having them sold to another instant, because that's just the beginning.
Right.
This is, you all think it's just TikTok? No.
Mm-mm.
This is the propensity for this to happen to other apps
Yep.
is real.
It's there, and
It's
it's
real.
a legal thing, because when you're getting into legal arguments and legal statements and things going on, it opens the door for that legal opportunity to happen to other things. You think, oh, it's just TikTok, like Dr. Taji said. It's not just TikTok. Once they get this, go through this, whatever it is with TikTok, they're going to be like, okay, well, this other app over here is collecting data, and I think it's a threat to national security. But you've already beat the baton with TikTok, so it's going to be easier for them, the administration, to go after other things that they don't like for whatever reason. So this is
because
why
you got your feelings hurt. That's all that was.
got your feelings hurt. You're a big baby. You're a narcissist. All of those things. So they're going around with a big stick, beating up things they don't like or things that challenge them. Like remember the kids on TikTok? I was saying earlier, the kids on TikTok messed up his big rally. The BTS K-pop guys on the crew on Twitter they messed with him. And they were laughing. So now he's like, okay, I got this big tool. I'm going to come around, executive order.
Okay, but that means
that is.
Okay, so I'm going to, because I really don't care about his executive order. What if the people who are using these tools just said, sorry, you can ban it? But you understand what I'm saying?
He could go, but see, this is the thing. Once he gets done with TikTok, they're going to go to the next one, because they're already mad about being censored. And they had a video about something about children that was taken down, and the thing with the doctors. So you got somebody that gets mad, like a big baby that gets mad and said, well, I'm going to show you, I'm going to beat up everything with my executive order stick.
My thing is like, why do we have to participate? Because TikTok can say, okay, they can say it's banned here. But okay, how long does it take for something to go into effect? You know how long it takes when they say we're going to do something, and then it's 5 years down the road before we actually have the thing in place.
And go ahead.
Go ahead.
I know you're absolutely right, and there are workarounds for these things already. So it's TikTok and also WeChat with the executive order. So WeChat. TikTok and WeChat, right? So the thing is, already with you can bypass these types of things by signing in as another country, so that it will show that you're not in the U.S. If you really have the desire to do that, you can sign in, making your country different. You could sign in Canada. Right.
Yes.
And then you're able to use it that way. So the thing is, it's humorous to the point that it's sad, because it's really also, you don't want to get into politics, but this is what authoritarian governments do.
Yes.
This is what dictatorships do. They outlaw hasn't China outlawed a bunch of different platforms?
They did.
And put restrictions. What is different about this? What is different about this? Nothing. You're mad because the person who currently lives in the White House is upset because they messed up his little rally. And so now his feelings are hurt. And so he's going to do. This is what happens in governments where, everything is in control. You say something about the leader doesn't like, and they mess everything up. You are exactly the same.
And realize his heroes are Kim Jong-un and Putin. So he loves that they're totalitarian, their authority, their word is law. You can't challenge. Those are the people that he looks up to, and he wants to be them. So that's what he's trying to do.
That's where he should go and live then.
I agree.
We don't want this. Let's
get him out. So that we got to vote in November. So people vote. Let's vote. Forget. All of this stuff that they're throwing at us.
Now, if we want change, we're going to have to exercise. We can't just sit back.
You can't.
And just do stuff. Just like, I wonder what they're going to do to fix it. You need to show up.
Yes. Show up. And then
for whatever side you're on, you need to show up. Because if you just let it go, then you can't complain.
We were in this spot 4 years ago, guys. Remember, 4 years ago, we were in this spot about, I don't like this person. I don't like. Okay, it's not about liking. You see the end result of 4 years of one person in terror with their stick going around beating everything that they don't like. Got to speak up, and that means vote.
And literally.
Yeah.
Literally beating things.
Literally with a stick. Not his executive orders, the sending the police in, the feds in to do this and secretly that, and they've got vans that picking up people, unmarked vans. And who are those people? Snatching people off the street. It's scary. So you got to
very scary. So, I think that you got to vote. And I think that Silicon Valley has to stand strong. You can't be scared. You have to band together. Lock arms,
guys.
You got to say, look, witch.
Wall of moms or whatever. Wall of tech.
Exactly. It's like that game Red Rover. Remember Red Rover where you had to like break through people? We used to do some dangerous stuff when we were little. Anyway, so it's like that. You've got to do Red Rover, link arms, Silicon Valley, and say, no, you're not going to push us and bully us around. Don't roll over, because guess what? You comprise a large amount of jobs, a large amount of the economy.
Yes, attention.
And okay, how about this? We don't get anything out without all of the stuff that is here right now.
Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook, Google, you name them, Snapchat, TikTok, all of them.
I think what we gotta tell people, and if honestly, you tell your people that you talk to, we can't allow a sense of complacency and we can't do nothing, nothing's going to change. Get rid of that. It takes one person to change. We gotta vote. You gotta tell people to vote. I don't care if I don't like this person, I don't like that person. It's not about likability now. It's about survival. The way things are going in the world, in our country. Yes, you don't like this person, but let's get something done and then hold that person accountable after January 21st, on the 21st, 22nd, the next day, and after that for 4 more years. Hold that person accountable. Hold their feet to the fire. But because this person we got now, we can't do that.
We were given the right to have someone represent us. If the people that if you don't feel they're representing you, then you need to do something about it by going to the polls.
Yes.
And that
is not just talk about the president either. We're talking about
your local and other
state. Yeah. State and local, there's your congressmen, all Congress people, all of that stuff is up.
Your governors, like suit wearing Governor DeSantis.
Yes.
I need him to buy suits that fit him and to cut his hair properly. If that's the only problem, there are no other problems. That's my problem. Anyway.
And you should know what's going on in your state government.
Yes.
And in your county government, and in your city government.
Absolutely. Those are the things that really matter. That's where the overwhelming majority of the things that will affect you as a citizen, that's where it emanates from. Yes, the president is an important office, but the things that are going to affect you directly, they're all those things. And you know what? It's like, I know these things are boring, the city council meetings and all. Nobody wants to sit there and go, but you know what? Every once in a while, you need to show your face and let them know I'm watching what you're doing.
Yeah.
I see you.
Let your voice be heard.
Don't be
boring as hell, but
like Mildred, what happened when they put a new gate up?
Exactly.
There you go.
Going up.
Meeting. So you didn't get to vote or have a vote.
That's the complacency that I'm talking about. And now, because of the pandemic, all of those things, there's a lot of free space to breathe and to say, well, I'm going to run for this, or I'm going to support that person, or I'm going to look into this, or I'm going to look into that. There's a lot of free time. And you don't have to leave your house. A lot of the stuff is online that you can investigate, and you can call and you can text and, make a stink.
And political activity does not need to be always negative.
Right.
You can bring a positive perspective to whatever it is that you're doing, but you really need to pay attention. Oh, I don't like what they're doing with the school board. I don't say
and don't say, well, it happened to that group, it's not going to happen to us. You can see from what's going on. It started out, we're talking about this group and talking about, and it just flows to everybody. So don't sit back and go, well, it's not going to affect me. What's going to affect somebody you know and love?
Yeah, they said that about this virus too, didn't they?
Yeah. So there's a sense of complacency in America where they're just like, well, it ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't really care about my fellow man, my fellow citizen. I don't care about your health. I don't care about your, whether you have this payment that they're trying to get through that should have gone through with Congress and the money, and you don't care because you have a job. Well, you should care about the people that don't have your neighbors.
Let me, in fairness or not fairness, I really don't give a damn why, but I understand why. We're an individualistic society. So, you've got individual societies, which are usually more of the countries that have the wealth in the world, and then the collective societies or collectivist societies. So because we have always been individualistic as a whole, it is very difficult for us to then go back and say, well, you need to consider X, Y, Z. Why would I wear a mask or think it's important for me to wear a mask? Because I live in a society where the good of the individual is placed above the good of the group, which is the very definition of individualism. And that's the way we've always been. So it's very difficult now when we have to pull together for anything, and not on individual levels, because I think on individual levels, people are quite understanding and giving and they try. But as a whole, we do not. But why should we, when we've been taught this is the way we are and we don't have to do anything else, and you and yours is all that matters? And then that's the message that you also get from the top.
Right.
So now we wonder why people don't wear masks. That's because of that. So we have to
exactly.
So Dr. Tachi, I'm gonna see if I can sum this. An individualistic society, that just means we got a bunch of selfish people.
Well, basically, yes. So the in collective societies, which are usually the countries that don't hold all the wealth in the world, countries in South America and Latin America, Africa, Asia, Southeast Asia, even Asia in general, they value the good of the group above the good of the individual. So nobody has unless everybody has. Meaning, and that doesn't necessarily just mean wealth, but in terms of knowledge, etc. But in the West or in Western countries, they also tend to be very low context, which is why we love contracts for everything, because unless it's written down, it does not exist. They also tend to be individualistic, where the good of the individual supersedes the good of the group. So that's
and then see, there's one thing that kind of held this together before now. We had presidents that kind of cared. I'm not saying all of them are perfect or whatever, but they knew their job. They did their job of, okay, we got to protect the country as a whole. This guy, he's dropping the ball. It's not mine. Nah, I ain't got nothing to do with that coronavirus. And that's not my responsibility. You guys figure it out.
It's terrible. And the thing that makes it worse is that you have a bunch of idiots, a ring of fools surrounding this who co-sign on this nonsense.
He got the co-sign. So we got that one person that's supposed to be, well, this plan and that plan, and then you got the co-signer standing around. Yeah. So that is why everything is falling apart. And like Dr. Tati said, it wasn't great. It was never great, but at least we had the one person at the top that was like, okay, well, we're gonna kind of keep this ball together, called the United States. And now it's like this guy's like, well, you on your own. Do whatever you like. I don't have a plan. I don't care. I'm going over here to eat my KFC and I'm happy.
He said KFC.
And unfortunately, it has fallen to your governor in the states that don't have great governor. I'm really sorry. I feel really sorry. It's like a shit that everybody's trying to hold their piece together. All of these governors some of them are trying to hold this thing together. Where the captain at the top is like, well, he jumped off the ship and left you guys holding the bag. I would be mad too. That's why you see Cuomo mad whenever he's mad.
He should be. All governors should be upset.
All should be mad, but some of them are not. They're in, they're the circle of,
Ring of fools.
The ring of fools. Yeah, they're in the ring of fools. So again, where do we go? Where do we go Vote.
We cannot complain if we don't vote.
And we gotta fix it. It ain't gonna be easy. Not gonna be easy.
Brenna said I had no faith in this pyramid scheme. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
This is a pyramid scheme.
Yes.
Oh my God, Brenna, you are brilliant.
Yes.
That's exactly what this
That's
is.
why
A
it's falling
pyramid
apart.
scheme. And all the people who want to come in underneath are the ones propagated because, you know, pyramid schemes work by,
Yes,
you
remember
know, you
Bernie
bring in
Madoff?
people, you bring, what happened?
Remember Bernie Madoff? He
Yeah.
was holding it together, and then it all fell apart.
So this too shall fall apart. See, the thing, we have to understand that this is we're passing through time.
Mhm.
It's not going to be forever.
Nope.
We pass through time. We never thought we would get to where we are now, because we saw in China everybody wears masks, and we're like, okay, now it's here.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but they did it for a reason.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
talking about before,
Yeah,
way
yeah.
before this.
They have a culture of wearing masks, and we were
Right.
like, "Well, what? They're stupid. Why are they laughing, and why are they wearing masks?"
Well, pollution was one thing too, so you
Right.
know, breathe over there. But because when they tried to have the Olympics over there, I was like, why are we over there if we can't breathe? But okay, that just doesn't
Exactly.
make sense to me.
This little
Well,
thing
you know-
was held. This little thing was held together with string and wax, and the wax melted. And you. This is what you're seeing. Trump, this guy is
Like
going
that.
after TikTok, and it's going to be Spotify next, or this next, or that
Right.
next.
So I think this is why we have to be, that's why I don't like it. You have to be very careful
Yes.
because you don't know who's next.
Yes.
And there's a lack of regard, you know, even with all these people, even with TikTok or whatever, there are people that work for that company, right?
Mhm.
There are creators who are making livelihoods on that company. Now, again,
Mhm.
we always say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You need to be able to pivot, those types of things. But for, you know, the humanistic end of it, there are people that are working for those. So because your feelings are hurt is
Mhm.
not a good enough reason under the guise of security, whatever,
Mhm.
because, you know, we've been able to access WeChat for a long time and nobody said anything about that.
Right.
So,
Now
you know,
it's a problem.
yeah, it's a problem and we
Mhm.
just need to solve it.
Okay, so we got some comments going through
Yeah.
here. Brennan Silver Circle.
I laughed when I saw.
And Carlos said, I informed everyone that TikTok would be in trouble 5 months ago. And I think they're in trouble, and then maybe not. They're going through the trouble because I got the feeling.
We don't know what's going to happen in 40
No, I don't think it's just like, I just don't think they're just going to go away.
TikTok might survive with Microsoft, and maybe not. I don't know. We don't know. That's why I said watch this space. I said last Friday, it's a blank space. This TikTok story, because the scenes keep changing, and we got 45 more days of this.
So what happens if TikTok is acquired and moved completely from China? Now all bets are off. It shouldn't be banned at that point.
Right. We would hope it wouldn't be banned, and then Microsoft own it so they could do what they like. But you see what Microsoft is like, the bland guy at the accountant at the counter. Look what they did with LinkedIn. They bought it, and it's like, okay, just sitting there. So maybe
So that may not be a good idea.
We don't know. But at least it will be. See, this is the issue. At least the threat of requests of data from the Chinese government will be removed. I think that's the thing that will be different.
Okay, because I've said this before. The Chinese government are not requesting anything. They're taking.
They got the back door already, so
they're not asking. So here's the ultimate. Wherever you want to stay private, please don't put it on TikTok.
Yeah, or anywhere, right?
And it's not just TikTok. Facebook does the same thing. It's just that they're American owned. That's all.
Okay, so here's the thing. Don't put it anywhere. Some stuff you just don't tell everybody.
We don't need to know all your business like that.
No,
huh?
I don't want to know all your business.
I really don't.
I think that's we got away from what we learned at home. Family business needs to stay in the family and it don't go outside the door. That means it doesn't go online.
Right.
You don't share certain things.
Yes, I agree.
And it doesn't matter who has it or who owns
There
it.
should be an
You don't
onboarding
give
for
them-
social. Yeah, there should be an onboarding for this apps. You got to go through this little lesson of do not share before you get the app, but then
I
because you're not
just think that
sharing.
people.
Go ahead, Dr. Tati.
I just think that people, people don't think before they do these things and before they share what they share. It's not out of, well, most of the time, it's not out of any malice. It's not out of they just want to be able to share. This is the first time in history that we are listened to on a wider scale. It's the first time that what you have to say can matter for somebody could give you accolades for what you said. We never have that before. And especially the media was so one way, one directional. That's the model in communication that we teach, that the original way was from sender to receiver, and that was it. But the better way is sender to receiver with feedback, and then receiver to sender. And the even better way is sender to receiver, receiver to sender. And then you have the transactional feedback in between. So there are a couple of models of communication that we've gone through that kind of describe this, but now, we're in a different age where it's not just sender to receiver, it's sender to receiver, and then to the other people who are commenting on this. So we're going to have to come up. I haven't seen a new model for this yet, mainly because scholars were lazy. When it comes to that time, we talk about what we want to talk
and see,
about.
this is the thing. I say everybody has a voice. The good thing, everybody has a voice. The bad thing, everybody has a voice.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody don't know how to use their voice.
Right.
No. Yeah, I mean, let me give you a perfect example. On Twitter, there was from Basketball Wives, the reality show, one former basketball wife who really wasn't a wife. I don't know why she was on there, but Drea, she had made a comment. I don't know if you guys remember when the rapper Megan Thee Stallion
she
had gotten shot.
In the feet, both feet.
In the feet and the right. So don't know what happened with that. Whatever, it's a terrible situation. But then there are all sorts of comments that come on, and it also talks about the nature of gender politics when it comes to these types of things, how women are regarded. Right. So that came up. But Drea happened to open her mouth and said, I want that Whitney Bobby kind of love.
What?
So basically saying that she wanted somebody who would at all, would want her so bad that he would shoot her, and it was supposed to be a joke. Needless to say, she got dragged all the way down the Twitter roads with this one. But that's a perfect example of people speaking and not needing to. First of all, nobody asked you. Second of all, what you had to say was not profound and did not add to the discourse on this at all. But when you're dealing with social media, these are the things you have to expect. Any idiot can open their mouths and say any number of things.
Yes. And that's why I say curate your feed. I've been saying that. So I heard of this story because there's boards and stuff I go to, but on my Facebook, I didn't see any of that. Or all my social media, I don't see any of that. It's all business curated. But you can't escape news stories like that because they're everywhere. Like I try to avoid the Kardashians, but they're everywhere. I go somewhere and they're there. But so that's what I'm saying about this kind of story. There's a community that they feed off of that entertainment, gossipy thing like that. And I'm saying to you guys, if you're not interested in that, there's the area of interest that you like, and I say stay in that community and curate your feed so it minimizes that kind of thing. But again, like Dr. Tati says, nobody asked her, why did you say what you said? And then immediately she probably apologized because of the backlash.
You only apologize because if people would have said, hey, yeah, girl, you're right. Yeah. If they would have left it, she wouldn't have apologized. And I don't even know that she did apologize or what statement she made.
I don't know, but she has exposed the backdrop of her life. Of if that's the thing that you come out of your mouth, it's in your brain, and that means something happened way back in your life that's okay. And
And I
that's
also don't, I'm sorry, I also don't like this. And this is all I'll say on the subject. I also don't like this because if we're looking at it as women of color,
Mhm.
this is something that happens with melanated women. When
Mhm.
you say something, you become the spokesperson for every other person of your ethnicity. I don't
No.
like that you're speaking for me as a black. How very dare you? We have all worked to the point to make sure that we are upright and up and fighting for the right things. And here you go and open your loose, stupid lips. And then now what you have to say counts
Mhm.
for us. That's what I hate the most. So you also have to, is it right? No. But this is the way society has been built. So as a person of color, you also have to be very cognizant that when you open your mouth, you may think you're only speaking for yourself, but no, society sees you as the voice of all Latinx people or the voice of all black people. You have to be aware of that, whether you like it or not. And you probably don't like it, but that's too bad. You have to be aware.
Let me go hit these comments over here. Karen says, "Yep, some things not even shared. Some things are not even shared with your partner, and people will put it out on Facebook
Yeah.
or Twitter,
That's what I
Instagram, or whatever." They said, "People just keep your mouth shut."
Absolutely.
And Brenna says, "There's so many computer savvy people here. They are a force. They will vote, maybe run for office, work for government, write policy, influence change. They understand humanity and boundaries more than we think." Yes, there are a lot of computer savvy people that should be, and if that's you, maybe you should be running for office.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we said that earlier. There's space now for
Right.
you to think about, what do I really want to do? I really wanted to, investigate how to run for city council, but I was so busy working 9 to 5 or more hours, 50 hours a week or whatever, and taking care of the kids and cooking dinner and this and that. But now you got a little space to breathe, everybody, to think about what, and this goes into the be more are. You need to think about, what can I do
You do.
to make the change, instead of sitting back, well, I don't have the time, or I don't know how to start it, or I don't know. There's a thing called Google. How do I do this? How do I do that? So you got the space. There's a little bit of space here where we can start to think about things that we change in our lives that could change other people's lives, indirectly or directly.
Right. And
That's one of the things.
Karen said, like the guy who was crying on Twitter while looking to see who was commenting or liking.
What? Really? Really?
Oh dear. Oh dear.
These people got too much time
Really?
on their hands and they want attention.
Brenna says, sums it up. Think before you speak is my mantra.
Absolutely.
So
And-
it's a big mess. Everything's a big mess, but we gotta try to work on it somehow, some way, in little ways. So
And this rant was brought to you by the antics of Instagram and Reels.
yeah. So I was gonna say, now we're gonna move on to media, because we need to talk about media.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. So I'll give you a few quick bites from this morning that has come up. The big story, obviously, is the TikTok thing. So that has like really overshadowed a lot of things. But let's talk about Viacom CBS. They are planning an international streaming service, and they're expanding CBS All Access Originals. Thank God, because CBS All Access, I don't see any reason to pay for you, because you have a handful of original, not even a handful.
And
Four?
There was four.
Four?
About 4 originals.
Okay.
Yeah. So why would I pay when it's all what? I don't need to watch the back seasons of Price is Right. That's not that's not anything I don't care about the Big Bang Theory.
and Gunsmoke and Perry Mason. I was like, I can do that on MeTV.
MeTV does that every night, and then they play Gunsmoke on Saturdays. That's all right. It's not that deep for me. So they actually received a very bulked up library. CBS All Access has, and they said yesterday that new originals from all the brands on the service, including BET, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, and Smithsonian will arrive to the streamer beginning in 2021. So this is the thing about, Viacom, CBS. Viacom has all those properties, and they also own CBS, which is why, if you've noticed, that there were some like award shows for the first time. The BET, was it the BET Awards, was also on CBS because of Viacom.
I saw it. That's where I saw it. Yeah.
Because of Viacom, because Viacom owns CBS. That's the only reason, because we've never seen the BET Awards anywhere but BET. But it was on BET, and it was also on VH1 and Comedy Central, a lot of the other things. So that is the advantage of having all these properties. You can cross platform with your content. So it's it rolled out. It's gonna be rolled out earlier next year in Australia, Latin America, and the Nordics. Scandinavian countries, with more international markets to follow. So they also reported a low but better than expected second quarter earnings, and a 27% drop in advertising revenue for the first full 3-month period affected by the coronavirus. So point is, they're down, but they're trying to get back up by producing more original content and this international streaming channel. So more when that comes. This is very interesting. Bon Appetit magazine, the hoity-toity food magazine, they have a channel. And journalists of color are leaving the magazine's film series. So 2 months after Bon Appetit top editor had resigned because of pressure and complaints about racial insensitivity, 3 journalists of color from the channel said that they are no longer participating in the magazine's popular video series, according to the New York Times. So test writer Priya Krishna, assistant food editor Sola El Walili, and contributing food editor Rick Martinez have announced that they're leaving the video channel. They represent 3 of 6 people of color who are regularly featured in the Test Kitchen videos.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt, but was this the thing where they found out that they were getting less money for doing the videos than the other?
I think this is it. Don't quote me, but I think this is it.
I think, They found out that they were getting less money for doing the same thing on the channel, that they were getting paid less versus the other.
Why does this have to be a thing all the time?
All the time. And then you want to go back and apologize.
Why didn't I just pay everybody? Okay, if you're doing a video on the channel, everybody gets this amount of money. Everybody.
The fact that you would even participate in that foolishness in 2020, and then you would have kept it up had they not found out, that's deplorable. So I'm like, whatever. Yeah, so anyway,
this story, it's crazy.
So that's what's happening. They're leaving, although the other 3 right now, I believe, are staying on. I don't know for how long or to what capacity, but I mean, this is what you get, Bon Appetit. Bon Appetit that. So also, Vice News. For those of you that are Vice News watchers, Vice News tonight has earned more news and documentary Emmy nominations than any other news program, according to the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, which I am part of the family of. They announced their 2020 news and documentary Emmy nominees, and Vice News tonight has been nominated for more for the 3rd consecutive year.
Okay.
So good for you, Vice News. You're doing some good things. And then finally, let's talk about AMC, because they really are interesting to me. So AMC has lost. These are their losses, and this is why they're so ready to go to battle with anybody who doesn't want to show the way they want. They have lost $561.2 million in the most recent quarter because of coronavirus closure.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, so I guess they didn't work out something with Walmart for the outdoor parking lot movie situation.
The stupid thing is that's Walmart and Tribeca that are doing that. So this is not even that was not even a theater exhibitor. This was a damn festival, a movie, a film festival who made that deal with Walmart. I think, and I don't know why they wouldn't have said, because, often I know there are some AMC theaters that are in the same plazas with Walmarts. I don't know why they wouldn't have done that. That would have been great. That would have, softened the blow for them with this. But that's why if you were wondering why they were hot as fish grease, that's why, because they knew that their losses were going to be big because of this. That's why they were in such a push to open. That's why they sued New Jersey, because they pushed back the opening. But your lack of planning is not our fault.
Exactly.
No. So how about, and why it's not happening? Drive-in theaters was a thing at one point.
Mm-hmm.
We have parking lots that are blank. People can drive into a parking lot. You can spend part of the money you're losing and put up a screen outside, take a projector
Absolutely.
from the inside, put it on the outside, and
see, AMC, I'm thinking AMC and others in this industry, why weren't you forward thinking and you would see that digital would be the way to go in some form or fashion and not have COVID-19 shut you down completely 100%?
Exactly.
The smaller mom and pop people are maneuvering and being nimble. And I'm talking about restaurants who you can't open, but you can be outside. I'm telling you, tents were popping up all over on the grass and everywhere else.
That's what they're doing here. They're closing some of the streets and sidewalks. They're letting the restaurants put more tables outside. But I'm just, AMC, you just so got fat off the land of people coming in. Oh, we're making money. Everybody's coming into the movie theaters. Did you ever think of a time or a day when digital would kind of...
They're being Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They are
exactly
Blockbuster.
Where Blockbuster didn't anticipate the popularity of Netflix and they underpaid them. That's why you got one shop left in Alaska somewhere. That's it. The same thing, we could even look at this back to the advent of videotape and the popularity of VHS and, beta at one point, where people, they were, really, really up in arms about all of that as well, right? Anytime there is a change, they're up in arms about it, right? Because before videotape, if something, it would take years before something that came out in the theater came on television, if it came on television.
Right.
Then you had VHS, and beta, and they were offering, being able to watch these in the home, but it still took some time before it was available on videotape.
Right. And they fought that because it's like,
they fought it.
So you fought digital, and now look at the boat you're in because it's something we didn't know was coming. But they be ready for it.
They did, but see, this is why many, and it's not just AMC. There are a lot of big corporations that are slow to change. They don't want to change because they're doing just fine as they are.
Good,
At the beginning of the video age, had they said we need to open some AMC video rental places, they would have had a retail end of it, and then they could have transitioned to stream. Oh, they're doing okay. We're going to do streaming too. They could have transitioned to streaming as well, in addition to all these things. And you would have had multiple streams of income like Netflix. Right. Netflix started with DVDs, then they went to streaming. Then they had, now they're producing originals.
Right.
I don't know what people in the organization going, how can we grow our business and keep aligned with trends that are happening with consumers? You got to see what's going on with the consumers. And like AMC, you're getting fat off the land. Like everybody's walking into the movie theater. We're just cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching with with the concessions and everything. And you never thought that something, hey, let's plan for a doomsday scenario of what would happen if no one came to the theater. Let's put this in.
I like what TJ said, planning for what's coming, what's the worst thing that could happen. Think about that and do something about that before the worst thing happened.
That was the thing that when I was at EPA, that's what we did, was like, okay, what happens to the network if it goes down here in New York? Well, we got the backup in New Jersey and we can go up like that. Why? Because all of that data, all of this information needs to be saved for governmental purposes. So what happens if this, and we had people that was their thing. What would happen if this happened? Then we would have this backup, and then we had a backup in North Carolina. So there was a backup to the backup, and that's just, businesses need to do that. What would happen if the owner died? What would happen if this?
Have a contingency plan?
Have a doomsday scenario. What happens? You don't want to think about it because they were getting fed off the land of people coming in and cha-ching, cha-ching, and making selling that $10 candy and a $20 soda.
And they could have been doing AMC online, first run movies right at your. They can still. Do you understand? Run the movie.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta have people in the organization thinking like that. They weren't.
And just do that, instead of now that they had to backtrack with their tail between their legs and say, all right, well, let's come to an agreement with Universal. You didn't even have to do all that. They could have said, look, nobody's coming in for a while. Let's do, per the agreement of how we do this, why don't we just do some sort of split? This way we're still making money, right? And you're still able to go direct to consumer. But no, they want all that they're due. And that's the problem. When you're greedy,
yes,
it falls. So I'm waiting to see the plight of the movie exhibition industry after all of this. They'll be very lucky if they're still standing. And this is not a wish for them to fall, but it's inevitable because they have not planned for the future and they don't want to pivot. They're still holding on to this string of, no, we can still show movies on the side of the barn. They're still holding on to that thing. So
the old way of thinking, they're still holding on to that. There's no fresh minds in there. Millennial Gen Z going, this, what are millennials and Gen Z doing? They have a phone. They have mobile. They don't want, maybe they don't want to go here to do that. You got to have people that look at the trends and see consumer behavior, consumer behavior.
So I'm thinking, could this be my movie theater? Can you just set my first run movies straight here?
Tasha said they're being greedy. They were being greedy.
And they could have partnered up with somebody who has the platform to get it out there, because somebody did do first run movies. Amazon is running first run movies, and you can pay for them up on Amazon.
Amazon Prime, $20. Get Disney doing their thing with Mulan,
right?
But did you hear AMC say PIM to them? Nope, and they won't either. They're not going to say a damn thing to Disney because AMC is not a Disney. They know to just shut it up if they expect to get, because Disney could be like, well, forget you. We could do our own thing. I think AMC is interesting.
If you in March, if you had a walk in, if your business was walk into a business or walk into a physical building, you should have been thinking about pivoting then. Not saying, well, we'll wait. We're going to wait. This is going to be over soon. This is going to be over next month.
And it's over.
If it's not a grocery store, they're not walking in, baby.
And sitting there for 2 hours in recycled air, and some people, somebody's gonna choke a little on popcorn, and it will be all over the place.
You have your building. They have to your customer has to walk into your building in order for you to get revenues, and you should have been thinking about it.
Yeah. You know what? That is a really good point. That if you are a brick and mortar, how are you now serving your customers without them having to come to you?
They're going to do it now in New York, that all of the restaurants and bars here are upset because Cuomo said you have to serve food. So they were serving peanuts and stuff. And it's just a big mess. And
That's not food, Rich. Peanuts are not food. You all know better than that.
Selling bags of peanuts, because that meets the qualification of selling food. No, it doesn't. No. So
they should make
you should have gotten a food license. You should have gotten a food license. That's it. So how is that our fault?
Connect with DoorDash, Uber Eats. What you should have been thinking of that.
But you just want to sell beer and do just this much to.
Now they got the liquor license. He took the liquor license away. Well, because they weren't they let people congregate in the street and they're just laughing and talking and drinking and having a good time, spreading the. Cuomo said, "Nope, I'm taking your liquor license."
Just do right. Again, the individualistic mentality says, well, I have to do what I have to do to survive, and I'm not concerned about the welfare of other people because they've come here. Whenever you eat or drink, your mask has to be down. There's your talking, there's a propensity for droplets to be all over the place. I think people need to realize this, but and I do get the fact that if this is your livelihood, you've built up everything over this, and the restaurant industry is already so difficult. I get it.
Yes, the margins are small.
Margins are small, but you knew this going in there, didn't you?
There's lots of restaurants around here that have closed. Oh, we've been open since 1930. I'm like, well, sorry, I don't. If you didn't pivot and think digitally in March, or even before that, we should have been thinking about it. But now is really. I feel sorry.
Right. Oh, you mean back in 19 when did they first start going online and nobody's like, well, I'm not putting my credit card online, buying nothing online. Remember them days?
Yeah.
Yep.
Here we are.
I'm not
Exactly.
buying nothing online. Okay.
It's stored in your account now. You go to Amazon and you're like, okay, you just bloop, one click is done. And like France, I remember there was a time where people were like, I don't know about putting my credit card online. Now we just do it, don't even think about it. So
absolutely.
Carlos, I'm going to get these last couple of comments. I'm going to let Dr. Tachi finish up.
Yeah.
Carlos said they have
I'm finished.
Oh, okay.
They said, Carlos said they have parking lot concerts, but people are still mixing with each other.
They had one in the Hamptons that Cuomo was mad about. So,
okay, people get off the beach. People, let's just okay. Cars be crashing into tents here. He said, "Lie, kidding,
kidding."
And then the people at the top are lazy, Karen. They don't think, and then you see when you are creative, your mind expands.
Yeah.
And I had to question Dr. Kachi. So, how did y'all like Peacock?
You know, I have not. This is the funny thing. I know we said we were going to talk about Peacock, right? And I haven't had time to sit down and really dissect Peacock yet. So hit me next week. I'll have had time to really look at it and dissect it.
Okay, Terry, you got.
Well, okay. I may this may be biased or whatever, but I was never a big NBC fan anyway. I don't remember when I watched NBC in the glory days when they had all the good shows, but now but I have the Peacock and I look at them like, okay, well, I can watch Today's Show, I can see Friends, I can and what else is there?
It's a bunch of reruns.
Not for me.
It's just reruns. It's got NBC reruns.
Oh.
And then they got some other reruns. Now, the one thing that I do like is the King of Queens. Funny.
Oh, are you a King of Queens person?
I like the show.
It was funny. I didn't know they were NBC, but I thought they were on another channel, but I don't care. But King of Queens was funny.
They got some SNL stuff going on, and
I watched the show, the SNL where they featured all John Belushi. That was funny because SNL back in the day was funny.
That was funny, yeah.
It was.
But
yeah. Yeah, what else is there? I'm not hearing anything else that's enticing me.
There's nothing there. That's what I'm saying.
There's nothing there.
I looked at it a couple of times and went, okay, if I want to watch the Today Show later, I can. If I want news. There's some sports stuff. There was some basketball stuff I saw, and
boring.
It is NBC predominant. So I was like, okay, I'm not. It came free with Xfinity, so there we have it.
You know, my thing is that you don't have to have a channel streaming network just to say you have a streaming network.
Yes, thank you.
If you are going to do it to take advantage of the space, have it planned, have some pointed material. This is one thing I will say about Quibi. Despite everything else, they have a boatload of content. So they came prepared with content. There's nothing that's recycled. Everything that they have is new. Okay. Granted, I understand that's different. But not only do you have your back catalog to take advantage of, you have the opportunity to produce some more things. Now, part of the problem is you doing this during quarantine. What the hell can you produce now? Nothing really. So that's part of the problem, I think, with a lot of these streaming networks that have debuted now, that you cannot shoot anything new because it's simply not safe.
Right.
So yeah, you want people to watch you during quarantine, but what do you have for me to watch?
I mean, I'm more excited about Netflix and all the black shows that they're bringing.
Oh.
I'm more excited about that.
That's right. That's right. They are bringing 7 old CW UPN shows
Yes,
back. Black cast
Mhm.
shows. Yeah.
And then there's MC, because we're all running on reruns right now. Everybody is running on reruns. I was watching Sling TV, and they had FX. You can either get FX the streaming, or you can watch it through your provider. And I'm like, well, I already got Sling. There's no point in me trying to download another streaming app.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like,
So it's like Dr. Taji said, why do you have a streaming app? Just to say you have one?
That's a lot of money. And because they were running their stuff through Hulu, NBC was running all of their stuff through Hulu, which is the competition of ABC.
Exactly. So, I do get where all these over-the-air networks that now have streaming networks, which is all of them basically, they want to have their own properties that are on places like Netflix and Hulu and etc. They want to have them back on real estate they own. However, the thing is, if that's all you have, you don't have a network.
You don't have much.
And Disney has the biggest right now.
Yeah.
Disney has Hulu. They have Fox on some stuff. So Disney is
National Geographic and
right.
Couple other things. Yeah.
Yeah. So Disney has the big piece of the pie. And because at ABC, what was that? Peacock, which is NBC, and then CBS, they run very little of their stuff over on Hulu. It's the way old stuff. You understand what I mean? They making you get the crumbs over there. You don't get.
They have to offer more because TikTok is still here, so that's where I can get my entertainment from. And it's new stuff, and they're doing things. They're gonna up the production if they can keep TikTok in the app store.
Yeah, and I would like to check out Quibi, but I need to have something to go over there to watch. I need a reason to watch.
Check it, do a free trial, check it out, see what you think.
Yeah, because I'm thinking the Kevin Hart situation. I might.
Oh yeah, I saw that. He has a new show.
I saw that, but I don't know that I'm that interested in it. I don't particularly find Kevin Hart funny, and that doesn't mean he's not funny. To me, he's not funny.
I need certain. Okay, there's certain kind of funny that I like.
Me too. I am very obviously because I was raised on dry British humor. I like irony and I like I like some out there silly funny things too. But some things I'm like, and then I'm looking at people like rolling on the floor. I'm like, but I fail to see where the funny in this is. But that's me,
right? Because see, I'm not the Jerry Lewis, Lucy physical comedy. I was like, that is just not me. I like cerebral humor.
See, I love that, but I also love physical comedy. I think it's great, but it has to be good physical comedy.
It has to be funny.
Yeah.
It has to be funny.
Yeah. Like I was watching Jim Gaffigan or something because it was on Amazon. Amazon has you can get comedians and stuff now. I was like, okay. I want to laugh and I don't want a bunch of explicatives when I laugh. I don't want to have to. Come on, can y'all tell a joke without?
This when we're talking about this. I remember there was something new with TikTok. They're launching a new app on Amazon Fire TV. I heard this morning. Then I was thinking,
TikTok is having an app on Amazon.
Leaping over Peacock and all, because like we're saying, the content, there's no content there, so why would I want to pay for you guys? And TikTok is putting it on Amazon Fire TV devices today. They're saying the app will have curated video playlists and compilations from the mobile TikTok app.
Oh, so
It will also include interviews with creators along with other content that runs over the 1 minute limit of TikTok's mobile app. And I heard that this morning, so I was like, "Oh, so TikTok is trying to the content part of it. We were talking about having the content, taking it from mobile over to TV."
Oh, so I can watch it now on my app. Well, this is Amazon Fire, but
they're trying to evolve past the dance. Like I said, the dancing kids. It was never about dancing kids. It was about the way that the app works. It serves you what you want and the editing tools. So now they're making that, bridging that connection over with TV. If they can stay they can stay out of this Trump thing.
I just think it's going to be okay on the other side.
We'll see.
It's going to be different than what we're okay. The world is already different now. So
yeah. That's what I said. Watch this space. It's changing every day.
Yep.
So,
well, this is good.
Yeah.
We'll talk some more.
Yeah. We'll be talking about TikTok tomorrow and the next day and the next 45 days.
Yeah. Post whatever you guys find out about TikTok and let us know what's happening.
We'll do.
And get your tech information here so you can make some wise decision with your tech.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining in live and on the replay. This has been fun, and we will see you next week, Monday. We're going to talk coffee thoughts and conversations. Thank you, Brenna, and everybody who's watching. Karen and Phoenix,
Carlos,
Phoenix, Pat and Donna, and
who else? Someone else was here. I can't remember.
Yes, Brenna and Claudia.
Claudia was.
Yeah, and Pat and Alfredo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're glad you're here today.
Yep. We will see you all on Monday. TJ will be back on Tuesday. Dr. Tachi has Mediascope on Wednesdays. Be sure to follow one another. Let's grow our community, stick together. And, we're already social distance, but we can still have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Every week.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.